How do you make a good-looking car even better looking? You lower it. You can lower most cars by simply just changing out the springs. With the fender liner removed, we have access to the strut mount. To remove the strut assembly, you have to unbolt the strut from the control arm and then move the control arm out of the way so you can drop the strut. Now you can remove the strut mount from the car and drop the whole assembly enough so you can unbolt the mount from the strut itself. It's time to replace the stock spring with a lowering spring. And for that, we're going to be using a spring compressor. Since this Aston Martin came with Bilstein dampers from the factory, it should be just fine with these lowering springs. On other cars though, you may want to replace your dampers with upgraded ones as well. Now with the new spring installed, it's just time to reassemble. I'm going to leave all the fasteners loose since I'm going to be tightening them at ride height later on. Moving on to the front, the process is very similar besides not having to remove the fender liner. We are going to remove the strut bar and then remove the bolt that fastens the strut to the control arm. We do have to unbolt the upper control arm so that we have enough space to maneuver the strut assembly. Moving the whole spindle out of the way allows us to pull out the strut assembly, which is bolted through the strut tower and into the strut bar mount. With the whole assembly out, we can take it back to the spring compressor. Now, when you're removing the nut for the strut mount, make sure you're holding the damper piston while you remove the nut. You don't want to use an impact on this. I got everything cleaned up and the new lowering spring installed, so it is time for reassembly. Once again, we're going to leave all the fasteners loose so that we can tighten everything at ride height. This is super important because you don't want to tighten any of the bushings at full droop that are not free to move around, because once the weight of the car is on the suspension, it will put stress on those bushings, causing premature failure. Now, I have a whole video on this if you're interested. To tighten everything at ride height, I do put the wheels on the car so I can lower it down until the lift arms are off the chassis. Now I can get under the car and tighten everything down. I'm going to do the final torque later on, but this just ensures that none of the bushings can move once I lift the car back up. I can't think of any car that doesn't look better lowered. This Vantage looks amazing. Now it has an upgraded clutch and has been tastefully lowered. It is ready to hit the road. Don't forget to follow along for other cool projects that we have going on.